Hey, Camp Girl Boss, it's Emily Breedlove, and we are back today with a live stream, and we're talking about a really big topic, which all of you guys spend a ton of time working with on camp. We get a lot of questions around resilience, right? So it's a concept that we've been exploring, and we are talking today with a woman named Benita Silver, and she is a therapist for women. And she really helps women overcome setbacks and learn how to be themselves and trust themselves, even when they're doing big and scary things. So, hey, Benita, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Emily. It's a delight being here.
Well, so talk to us first a little bit about what it is that you do in your business, because you are a girl boss yourself, and
Yeah.
how you support women.
Okay, well, for 37 years, I've been a psychotherapist and an art therapist. And I also am an intuitive and an energy healer. And I bring all that in to my sessions with my women. I'm really working with a lot of women, especially healers now, people who are in the healing and the helping professions, so that they can really trust themselves and have their biggest impact on the world and help the world. Because the world and all the people in it, we all need that now more than ever, especially with COVID. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and so, one of the things that we look at in camp is we're helping these girls build their empire. And whether that's
Yeah.
starting their own business or a nonprofit or creating a cause, it's really focusing on who they are and the way they want to show up in the world. And so that's one of the things that you focus on. And so we'll talk a little bit about resilience next, but tell me first why you think it's so important for women and girls to learn about their authentic selves and to learn about how to really embrace who they are and who they choose to be.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the things I tell my clients is there's no other person that you spend your entire life with. You are with yourself 24/7. So it makes total sense that you really want to get to know yourself and like yourself and trust yourself so you can direct the course of your life. And by getting to know yourself and what works for you, what you feel passionately about, then you can actualize your vision, your soul's vision and soul's purpose.
So is this what you would define as authenticity? So that's one of the values that we look at in camp.
Yeah, and authenticity I regard as transparency, which means that you're looking inside yourself and you're saying, what is it that I like? What don't I like? What do I need? What are my feelings? And you tap into that, you are aware of that, and then you can bring it in the world. You can express it and let people know this is who I am, this is how I feel, this is what I need.
Well, and so in camp, the campers are building what we call our leadership compass, right? And so you and I talked a little bit about this, where in the middle they have their statement that really represents their creative magic. And this, in essence, is really defining who they are and what they're most passionate about
Right.
in is in an authentic and a transparent way. Why do you think that this is so important, especially for women, really knowing what they stand for, but also then trusting themselves and kind of walking that path?
Well, I think it's most important for women because we live in a patriarchy where it's more of a man's world, and that the women typically are needing to bring their presence forward even more so because they're not regarded oftentimes, and this is just within our culture, whether it's men or women, we often devalue ourselves. We don't think that we're enough. That's part of the lessons that we've learned. I know in my mother's, in her history, it was like she was supposed to stay at home and cook and clean and take care of the kids, and that there's so much more to life. And so it's about really just bringing your all to your entire life. And that's what I try to do with all of my clients is to really help them tap in to their truth and be their truth.
Well, and believing in the way that you can show up in the world, right? Believing that
Right.
your gifts and your skills and your ideas are not only powerful, but they're important. And that's one thing that we look at in camp too, is really believing that what it is that you feel called to do that the world is actually needing it just as much as you want to share it.
Exactly, because each one of us is our own unique person. Each of us is different than the other. So we all have our unique gifts and talents to bring to the world. And that affects the world and can benefit the world when we're in alignment with what really we love. And so a big part of what I really help people do is, it's like, how do you know that you love it? You can kind of feel it in your body. You feel the excitement, you feel open, you feel expansive, and you're not feeling like the head is go, go, go. I've got to do that kind of thing. So we can get into that more too.
Yeah. Well, so I'd love to talk a little bit about that, because I know, so a lot of our campers, especially those who are just getting started, are really exploring their creative magic and really figuring out what
Right.
is it that I am the most passionate about, and what is that kind of unique combination of my skills, and what I'm good at, as well as, what the world needs. And so what would you say for the girls that are still trying to figure out what their creative magic is, or really confirming that what they think it is actually that source? What tips would you give them?
I would really recommend, it's like feeling that excitement. It's like your body feels relaxed, number one, and you're feeling this excitement, it's just like, and oftentimes it'll just click. It's just like all of a sudden it's like, there it is. And it can be a very long process, although this is the process we have to take before it actually clicks, and it can change periodically. And so to be tuned in with yourself, how am I feeling? What's my body saying to me? And do I feel excited about this? And if you're doing what really excites you, it's going to have benefit for the world.
Well, and so, there is this other side of looking at resilience. And that is, you're walking this path and really getting clear on what it is that you love and what you're passionate about. And it's not always an easy path. Oftentimes, even when you do find the thing that excites you, you hit challenges, you hit
Yeah.
setbacks. It doesn't work out the way you wanted it to. Or even sometimes that you lose the spark, you lose the excitement, and how you find your way back. And so, what advice would you give for girls as they are kind of walking this path and sometimes they fall off the path?
Right.
They hit a snag, or it doesn't feel great all the time.
Mhm.
How do you advise your clients around that resilient spirit?
Well, when we get into a negative mindset, it's like, first of all, being aware of it and just kind of calling it what it is. One of the things about a negative mindset, let's say if you're doubting yourself, that doubt is trying to provide you with like comfort. It's like, okay, what if this, what if that, what if this? And it's kind of wanting you to understand the what ifs, to be prepared. And so one of the things I always recommend is to try to approach those times when you're down, not as getting down on yourself for that, because that just makes it even worse. So it's kind of like approaching it with curiosity. What's going on with me that makes me down right now? What is it that I really want? And then to go after the want.
Yeah, so that is a concept that we also explore in camp, is that concept of passionate curiosity, of
Mm-hmm.
if once you find what you're passionate about and that you really become committed, that you're just constantly being curious about, how do I do this and how do I do it better? And, you may have tried something that didn't work just right or it didn't feel just right. And how do you stay curious? That,
Right.
once you really find the thing that your soul and your heart and your mind is wanting to seek out, how you stay in that place of being curious how to get there or how to figure it out better.
Well, one of my practices, and one of the things I recommend to my clients that I would also recommend to the girls, is you have your vision, draw it out, make a collage, write it out, read it to yourself every day, but then also kind of spend a moment and close your eyes and envision yourself in that you want to create, that you want to be. Not just envisioning it, but also feeling it. If it's like you're planning to be on a tropical island and doing whatever, it's like you can feel the breeze, you can smell, you can feel the sun, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah.
So we do a vision board in the very beginning that the girls
I
actually
do.
build one on Canva, which is awesome. And I love the really immersing yourself in that, because I think that's the next piece is imagine yourself there. And what does it
Ex-
feel like and smell like and
Exactly.
sound like? Yes.
Yeah, we have all these senses, so use them.
And that's what makes it real. That's what keeps you involved in it.
And that's also what communicates to the field, which and the universe will then give back to you what it is you're putting out.
Well, so we've got a question from one of the campers, and she asks, where did you get the idea for your business?
Well, it started in high school when my friends always were asking me for advice. And I decided, I could get paid for this. And then I was also interested in art, and I studied art in college. And I decided to put my interest in people and art together. And I went for my master's in art therapy. And it's been a process since then, working with people and then distilling that I really wanted to work with women and healers, helpers too.
That's awesome. Well, and you found the spaces that you loved and you overlapped them into a really unique way of showing up in the world. So way to go.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, so any other advice, Benita, that you would give to campers as they are kind of navigating this journey of listening to themselves and learning how to trust themselves when it comes to building their girl boss empire?
Yeah, it's kind of like when you are up against the obstacles, those are challenges, those are tests about how invested are you really in making it happen. And that and it's also about, can you lean into the fear? If you're afraid of something, it's like, okay, the fear is there, it's trying to protect me, and is it going to immobilize me, or can I lean into it and take little baby steps toward mastering it? I'm doing that with technology because I have a really hard time with tech. So yeah, and just taking time for yourself, taking care of yourself. Remember that it's a process and that you don't have to create it overnight like that. That every step that you're taking is a step toward achieving your vision and really making your life into what it is you want. And just to keep that in mind, that's kind of the guiding principle. Let me remember my vision. Let me remember my vision. Let me actualize that.
Yeah. Well, and that's it. You've hit on so many really important things today of, listening to yourself, listening to what really makes you excited and passionate, staying curious,
Right.
envisioning the life that you want to create for yourself,
Hmm.
being patient and just letting it come when it's supposed to be. And, really just continuing to walk that path, even when it's hard,
Right.
in unexpected ways. So all
Hmm.
really good advice. I super appreciate you joining us today and for sharing your wisdom with campers.
You bet. It was great. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So campers, if you have any other questions that you want to ask Benita, share them in the forum and I will be sure to ask her later. And I hope all of you guys just have a great day and we will see you back here tomorrow. All right. Bye,
All
everybody.
right. Bye.